Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. So today we are going to, we have Farhan, Cadet Farhan. He's in grade 8. So inshallah, he's going to share information about cadet and the benefit of the cadet programs and other related issues, how he balance his academic work and other volunteer work and his training on the cadet sessions. So welcome, Farhan. Please, so share your information. How did you get the information and when did you start and how you balancing your time with your school work, with your other volunteer work and this cadet training sessions. The floor is for you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Farhan Iqbal. I'm 13 and in grade 9, and today I'll be talking to you about the Royal Canadian Air Cadets program. So, we'll start off with a broad but important point, which is what do Air Cadets do? So, it's quite simple actually. We have regular parade nights on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 9:15 p.m. where we get taught about aviation related lessons, and what you learn is based on what level you're in. I'm currently in level 2, but this is because of my age. The ranking system is totally different, but I'll get back to that later. So regular nights bring lessons, but sometimes we get to do fun activities such as camping, gliding, flying in a small aircraft, which is usually a Cessna, and etc. So a few weeks ago, we went to Springbank Airport to fly a Cessna aircraft, and a few weeks before that, we partook in laser tag. So overall, Air Cadets do a bunch of wonderful activities, and now I'll go over to how to enroll in the program. So if you can see my screen, I've opened the eligibility requirements, but I'll explain it as well. So as it says on the Government of Canada's website, joining Air Cadets is joining cadets is as easy as one, two, three. First, they ask you to check out the different cadet programs that exist, which I'll go deeper into later. And then you also have to find a unit near your home, as it's very hard to travel to the Air Cadet Squadron that's very far away. Uh, yes. So after you find a unit near your home, you go to the online registration tool to begin the process. You'll need your health card and address and phone number of your parents/guardians, and the staff of the cadet corps or squadron will stay in touch and determine a time to review official identification. This could include your health card or birth certificate. You'll also be asked about the eligibility requirements that I opened over here. So you have to be a resident of Canada, at least 12 years of age and not 19. Prov- Provide proof of provincial health insurance coverage or equivalent. So if you're an immigrant, you have to find an equivalent for that. And you are not allowed to belong to another cadet group, such as the Army or Sea Cadets, which I'll talk about later. So now we're gonna briefly talk about the uniforms, not gonna go too deep into that. So cadets have two main uniforms, but a lot of minor ones, such as the C2s and C3s, which are very hard to explain. So I'll just explain the two main ones. There are the C1s, which are worn for ceremonies, as they are the most formal dress that cadets have. We also have FTUs, which stands for formal training field training uniform, which we use for regular parade days. Just but even though it's just a regular day clothes, it still has a significant impact on the Air Cadet history. And that was all for uniforms. Now we're gonna go to the ranking system, which is going to take a long time to explain. So there are 8 ranks for Air Cadets. The first one just being AC, which stands for Air Cadet. You have nothing on your C1 uniform for this, as on the C1 uniform on the sleeves you have chevrons or propellers depending on your rank. So then after AC, we go to LAC, which is leading Air Cadet. For this, you have to stay at the Air Cadet program for at least 5 to 6 months and achieve basic training. This is marked with propellers being added to your C1 uniform on the sleeves. So after LAC, we get Corporal, which takes a year to get and earns you a double chevron. A chevron, I'll show you it when I get to the Flight Corporal, but it's basically just a triangle thing, an arrow that does not have the line. So the Flight Corporal is a rank after the Corporal stage, which adds crowns over the double chevrons. Right here on my old uniform, I had the Flight Corporal badge, we could say, the chevrons and the crown. So I had to take it off my uniform as I had not attained that stage yet. But uh, mm, the person who owned my uniform before had that rank. So after Flight Corporal, we go to Sergeant, which brings you 3 chevrons without the crown. The crown is deducted there, but it still shows your dedication and experience. And then we have Flight Sergeant, which puts a crown over the 3 chevrons again, and it shows uh, a lot of, what can we say, um, seniority, I suppose. And I think if you're a rank under Flight Sergeant, you have to address them as Sir, or you just address them as Flight Sergeant. So then we have the second highest rank, which is Warrant Officer Second Class, or WO2, which gives you a crown with a wreath selected by a merit board. So there's just people in a board that decide if they should keep you in Flight Sergeant a bit longer or if they should put you in Warrant Officer Second Class. And then after you achieve Warrant Officer Second Class, you go to WO1, Warrant Officer First Class, the highest cadet rank where you earn a simplified Canadian coat of arms on your C1 uniform. So those were the rankings. Now we're gonna go on to how we're related to the Air Force. So currently, Air Cadets does not mean really that we're related to the RCAF, the Royal Canadian Air Force, but the RCAF does provide training, supervision, and funding alongside the Air Cadet League of Canada. So going to Air Cadets helps you learn as if you were in the Air Force, but it doesn't necessarily help you or give you a better chance to get into the Air Force. So before 1940, these first Air Cadet squadrons were considered to be the Army Cadet Corps that were usually affiliated with the RCAF as Air Reserve Squadrons, whose officers provided or assisted with leadership and drill training. So basically, before 1940, before World War II ended, the Air Cadet Squadron, there was no Air Cadet Squadron by itself. It was affiliated and it was added to the Army Cadet Corps. So they were basically as one, they learned the same things. But after 1940, this changed and they got divided into 2 different groups. And in total, there were 3 groups. Now I'm going to talk about the other main cadet programs. So there are a lot more types of cadets, such as police, firefighters, but the main 3 are air cadets, sea cadets, and army cadets. As air cadets are poised in the air, as they're air cadets, sea cadets are in the water, and army cadets have to stay on land. But sea cadets, they get to go on boats sometimes, and they get to learn about how the Navy works in Canada and a lot of stuff about the Navy, their uniforms, and the Army cadets have to stay on land, but that means they get to do a lot of marksmanship and gun work. However, they're not really allowed to do that much without supervision. That's mostly for older Army cadets. But I just like to point out one main thing. Air cadets are unique as they call their groups squadrons. So this wasn't heard of before, but the Sea and Air Army cadets, they call it a corps. It's just called a corps group because that's how it's called in their respective Army and Navy cadet, not cadet, their actual um like the actual army of that group. So the actual army has call it corps, so they keep as corps. The Navy call it corps, so they keep as corps. So that's all I have to say about the Air Cadets. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience. So we're gonna start with how I keep the Air Cadet program going with my homework. So as I'm in grade nine, I have to study for PATs this year, and I was a little worried about that at first, at the beginning of Air Cadets, but the more I've been going, the more I've seen that it's not really that hard to keep it going. Basically, what I mean by this is that the fact that Air Cadet is 3 hours long, which seems a lot, but we don't really do that much there. We just learn about airplanes, and I've learned about the four forces of flight 3 times in 5 months. That doesn't seem like a lot, but it is major because it's something that we really have to know about when we're in air cadets because we have to learn about how the airplane goes up or down because that's one of the main things we're going to learn. So air cadets starts at 6:30 and ends at 9:15 like I said. And for the first few for the first half an hour, we stand there waiting for all of the cadets to come inside. And after, at about 7:15-ish or 7:05, we start to go out into our classrooms to learn with our level teammates, I guess. So after that, we have about 3 lessons per day with lunchtime. And at 8:30, we go to the gym at Ernest Morrow High School to have a parade. So it's not one of those things where you go around holding sticks and going crazy. No, we stay in our um, flights. So flights are the smaller parts of the squadron. My flight is called the Lancaster flight. My friend's flight is called the Aurora flight. They're different names for each flight, and each is assigned different things to do during the end of the cadets. So the warrant officer first class tells us commands such as attention, where we have to stomp our feet down on the floor. After they tell us to do that, we have to do a right dress, which is where we get into formation and keep our arms up onto the other person's shoulder until we get into perfect lines with the people behind us and beside us and or in front of us technically. So that's mostly what we have to do in parade. After parade, we just do the salute and leave, and it doesn't really affect my school life because I do have to write notes. Sometimes we're supposed to write notes, but it's really easy as I've already learned all of this stuff in school. So it's not really that hard to keep up with school. But then again, on Mondays, I have soccer practice, and on Tuesdays, I have to go to cadets, and then on Wednesdays, I have practice again. And on Tuesdays, I have basketball practice too. But I'm a busy kind of guy. I like to keep it busy. Most people couldn't keep up with it, but I can. but I'm sure that it's very easy to stay with the cadet program as we don't really have homework. We have to learn about lessons, we have to keep it in our minds, but we don't really have to know about it. So now I'm gonna show you my squadron. I go to the 538 Buffalo Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron in Ernest Morrow Southeast. So this was the ACR, which I did not go to as I was not in the program at the time. That is the school where we are in, where we have our lessons. There are many classrooms where we have lessons in, and it differs per class and level. So here, if you want to join this specific program, you would technically have to email them first, but they prefer you go to the Canadian website as it's easier and it works for them better. So that's basically it. I have nothing else to add. Do you have any questions, Uncle?
Okay, Uncle. So, student can join from, I think, from grade 6 or grade 12 years old,
Yeah,
right?
12 years old. It does the grade doesn't matter. It depends on the age.
Age. Okay. Okay. So, and then I think this is very easy. Just Canadian residents. No need to be a citizen, right?
No, no
Resident.
citizen. You just have to exist in Canada, be a resident. I can show you this now. So it says go to the registration tool. It goes
Very
here,
good.
right? And then I just have to wait a bit. My internet's kind of slow. So it's going to show you this. You just have to search up your city and or your neighborhood. It doesn't matter. So I could search up silver. Okay, I'm just going to search up my squadron, 538. This is my squadron. Why is it not working? This is my squadron, and it's going to tell me if it's at full capacity or not. And it's going to tell me when or when not I can go there to know if I can have it or not. If I can, um, apply. So
Farhan, just one question, right? Some people in Northeast area, maybe they think, oh, you're living in Southeast or Northwest. So, how many centers in Calgary, and is there every center, every four corner, there are some centers or not?
no, there's everywhere in downtown, northwest, southeast, southwest, everywhere there's centers, but it doesn't usually like if you live in northwest, you're usually not going to find one in northwest at the time because it's probably full. So it's really rare to find one in your quadrant, like the northwest part. Because I have to go to southeast every Tuesday
Okay.
to do cadets. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then just weekly 1 day, right? Around three
Yeah,
hours.
one day's on Tuesday, but some cadets have it on Thursdays, I'm pretty sure.
Found this, and then some cadet, maybe some centers are Wednesday. So
Yeah.
their choice, they can join anyone.
Yes.
Okay, and then do your parents need to any pay? Is there any fee for the whole
No,
year or just
everything's free. Like every single thing is free. The airplane stuff is free. The laser tag thing we went to was free. When when I haven't gone gliding yet, but when people go gliding, that's free as well. Everything in the Air Cadet program is free of charge.
okay? Gliding means you are allowed to fly with aeroplane with other pilot, right?
Yeah, it's not really a plane. It's just a small aircraft that
Okay,
stays in the air. Yeah.
okay. About the dress and then boot, you need to pay for that, or this also free of
No,
cost?
that's free. Everything is free.
Okay, that is wonderful. And then just one question. Some student they think, oh, they need to join beginning of the year or when they are 12 years old. Is this information true, or they can join any month or any year?
It depends the wait list of the program. Like my cadet program at the time I registered in August, but the applications were actually due in September. So it depends throughout the cadets, and I'm pretty sure Sea cadets and Army cadets are almost always full as they keep you for a longer time, but it shouldn't really be a problem.
Oh, okay. Yes, Labib was, I think, last year. Some people they think, oh, they need to start in September, but you can join in also in May or June also, right? Because
Yeah, there's two main parts times when you can join September, and I'm pretty sure April or May. Spring and fall. Those are the main waitlist times.
okay, if one center is not space spot available, maybe the parents can search around, discuss, or to talk to them or email them other center. Is there any spot they can move there also?
Yeah, there's a lot in Calgary. There's one called the Calgary Squadron. There's one called the City of Calgary Squadron. There's my squadron, the 538. There's other ones in other parts of Canada called the 931 Blizzard Squadron. I'm pretty sure that's not in Calgary though. But there's a lot of squadrons.
Right.
There's a lot.
Okay, so who ran the classes, the sessions, especially the retired Colonel Army or sorry, Air Force officers, or who are the?
The one that teaches us is most of the time the warrant officer second classes or the flight sergeants.
Oh,
So basically the senior cadets, not really uh the
retired.
adults. It's most of the flight sergeants that teach us lessons.
Okay, okay. Or maybe sometimes the retired Army, Air Force officers are coming sometimes, or for
Yeah,
them.
they come for like special occasions, and when they do come, we have to wear the blue uniform as it's like an honor to have them here.
Okay, so maybe the summer camp time or winter camp, or maybe some kind of dinner party time, right?
Yeah, because at the Remembrance Day ceremony, we have to wear the blue uniform. In December, we just had a mess dinner where we have to wear the C1, and there were some elders there, like old people that were in the program before.
Okay. So from your discussion, I think I understand the thing is that to join credit is very easy, like 1, 2, 3. You told me that there's just one form. They need to fill it up and then send it by email or by mail or maybe in person, right?
Yes,
And that's it. And then just the parents need to contact with them. And after that, that department is going to give you the guideline.
yes.
Okay. Excellent. So what do you like to know that you are grade 9? So some student who are grade 6 and 7 and 8, they can also join, right? Even who are grade 10, 11, they can also join. What will be
You
you like?
can join whenever you are, whenever you can. There
Oh,
was this the our warrant officer second class. I don't think I can say her name, but she joined when she was 15 and she still got into the higher ranking fast. So
oh,
it doesn't matter how old you are when you join.
okay. So yeah, do you like to share the benefit? You already shared the what are the benefits. I think what do you think is it to help you to organize, to discipline yourself, or
Yeah, that's one of the main things for cadets. We're known for discipline, and air cadets especially are known for like their knowledge in their field because we have to learn a lot about our stuff, unlike the army cadets who do more like physical things. Like, yes,
okay, wonderful. So yes, physically active and
yeah,
it's a team building active. You can talk to other people and then you can make friend. You you know how to run a session or event workshops. Those skills,
yeah,
uh, children will get benefit. Thank you very
yeah,
much.
you. Thank you too for having me here.
So hope see you. We are planning to maybe next week or next month in February. We there are some students from BC, some student from Ontario, and they are also in different rank in Air Cadet.
Okay.
So maybe we can do one session. It's called panel session discussion, right? Some four cadets are going to discuss, and then maybe there are some sisters are also going to join with you. So that will be fun. You can share, exchange information.
Okay. Mm.
Thank you, Farhan.
You.
Good luck. Bye bye.
See you, Mohammed.